You're listening to the N2K Space Network.
Hey everybody, Dave here. Have you ever wondered where your personal information is lurking online? Like many of you, I was concerned about my data being sold by data brokers. So I decided to try Delete Me. I have to say, Delete Me is a game changer. Within days of signing up, they started removing my personal information from hundreds of data brokers. I finally have peace of mind knowing my data privacy is protected. Delete Me's team does all the work for you with detailed reports, so you know exactly what's been done. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/N2K and use promo code N2K at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/N2K and enter code N2K at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/N2K, code N2K.
When you are Intuitive Machines, the company that reestablished an American presence on the moon after decades away, that does give you certain bragging rights, and it opens a lot of doors for new business. A new one announced today with a potential nearly $5 billion contract with NASA. That is quite a vote of confidence, but given Intuitive Machines' track record, it's not a stretch to understand why.
T-minus 20 seconds to LOS speed rest to go for deploy. Roger roll.
Today is September 18th, 2024. I'm Maria Lanas, and this is T-minus. Intuitive Machines awarded a Near Space Network contract. Lockheed Martin to develop a lightning mapping instrument for NOAA. York established optical communications in orbit with its Tranche 0 satellite. And T-minus producer Alice Carruth will be speaking to Maria Lanas, Space for Art Foundation co-founder, on her work to inspire students to understand space through art. So stick around for the second part of the show for that chat. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. The week is flying by, and the big headlines keep rolling in. At the end of the workday yesterday, NASA announced that it had awarded Intuitive Machines with a Near Space Network contract for communication and navigation services for missions in the near space region, which extends from Earth's space to beyond the moon. That is not an easy task, and we're pretty sure NASA kept that in mind when allocating funding for the system. The Cislunar Relay Services is a new firm fixed price, multiple award, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, task order contract. Oh, those IDIQs do run with a hefty max potential, and this contract has a base period of 5 years with an additional 5-year option period with a maximum potential value of $4.82 billion, to be precise. NASA says that lunar relays will play an essential role in the Artemis campaign to establish a long-term presence on the moon. The Lunar Relay Award also includes services to support position navigation and timing capabilities, which are crucial for ensuring the safety of navigation on and around the lunar surface. Under the contract, Intuitive Machines will also enable NASA to provide communication and navigation services to customer missions in the near space region. Intuitive Machines CEO Steve Altemus said in the press release announcing the award that this contract marks an inflection point in Intuitive Machines' leadership in space communications and navigation. We're pleased to partner with NASA as one team to support the Artemis campaign and endeavors to expand the lunar economy. And the contract period begins on October 1st this year through September 30th of 2029, with the option period potentially extending the contract through September 30th, 2034. And staying with NASA contract news, the U.S. Space Agency, on behalf of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which you might better know as NOAA, has selected Lockheed Martin to develop a lightning mapping instrument as part of NOAA's Geostationary Extended Observation Satellite Program, also known as GeoXO. Lockheed Martin has been awarded a cost-plus award fee contract valued at approximately $298.1 million. It includes the development of 2 flight instruments, as well as options for 2 additional units. The anticipated period of performance for this contract includes support for 10 years of on-orbit operations and 5 years of on-orbit storage, for a total of 15 years for each flight model. NOAA and NASA oversee the development, launch testing, and operation of all the satellites in the GeoXO program. York Space Systems has successfully established optical communications in orbit with its Tranche 0 satellites. The spacecraft are part of the Space Development Agency's proliferated warfighter space architecture, and this successful demonstration makes York the second SDA provider to achieve this major milestone and the only provider to establish successfully both space-to-ground Link 16 and a laser communication link in orbit. Very cool. The Office of Strategic Capital has announced the $12.5 million joint investment contract in partnership with the U.S. Navy to mature Ursa Major's Lynx solid rocket motor manufacturing process. Ursa Major will match the DoD investment, representing a $25 million expansion of the company's solid rocket motor capabilities. Ursa Major's investment will be used to complete an advanced manufacturing pathfinder program for the design, manufacture, and test of a Navy solid rocket motor prototype. Ursa Major is currently developing a second source Mark 104 dual thrust rocket motor for the Navy under a separate award. SpaceX launched 2 new European Galileo satellites into low Earth orbit overnight. The European Space Agency says the satellites have reached their holding point and are undergoing first basic health checks as planned. In the coming days, the satellites will be maneuvered to their target positions, and all systems will be tested to confirm that they are fit for nominal operations. Eutelsat has signed an agreement for multiple launches with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. Under the terms of the agreement, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries will provide multiple launches by an H-3 launch vehicle from 2027. Eutelsat works with launch providers to deliver its fleet into orbit and says this latest agreement brings additional diversity and additional opportunities to launch Eutelsat's satellites in the coming years. Polaris Spaceplanes have received a new investment from investor Klaus Deans. The new capital brings the total amount of private funding to a total of 7.1 million euros. And as part of his investment, Klaus Deans will also become a member of the advisory board at Polaris. Beyond his present investment, he will provide ongoing strategic and financial support. Polaris will use the funds for the development of the supersonic prototype Nova and to execute on large customer contracts in advance of a larger funding round in 2025. French rocket company Sirius Space Services has signed an agreement with Equatorial Launch Australia to secure a launch facility at the company's Arnhem Space Center. The company will take up residence at Arnhem Space Center's Launch Complex No. 3, which has been renamed Le Mans, as in the racetrack in France. Sirius Space says the flexibility to access a wide range of orbital inclinations was a crucial factor in its decision to select the Arnhem Space Center for the launch of its rockets. Construction of the Le Mans Launch Complex will begin in October 2024, with the company aiming to have the facility operational by the second half of 2025. Indian launch company Dhruva Space has announced a collaboration with Manastu Space, which is a Mumbai-based green propulsion systems startup. Manastu Space's propulsion tech will be qualified on Dhruva Space's LEAP 3 hosted payload mission in late 2025. LEAP 3 will be the third in Dhruva Space's renowned LEAP series, which stands for Launching Expeditions for Aspiring Payloads, I'm sure you were wondering, which is aimed at both global and Indian markets. And that concludes our briefing for today. You can find more information on all of the stories mentioned by following the links in our show notes. We've also added one additional link from Illyria announcing a new COO. Hey T-Minus crew, if you find this podcast useful, please do us a favor and share a 5-star rating and short review in your favorite podcast app. That will help other space professionals like you to find the show and join the T-Minus crew. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your support.
Imagine this. Your primary identity provider goes down, whether it's a cloud outage, network issue, or even a cyber attack. Suddenly, your business grinds to a halt. But what if it didn't have to? Meet Identity Continuity from Strata, the game-changing solution that keeps your business running smoothly no matter what. Whether your cloud IDP crashes or your on-prem system faces a hiccup, Identity Continuity seamlessly shifts authentication to a secondary or even tertiary IDP, automatically and without disruption. Powered by the Mavericks Identity Orchestration Platform, Identity Continuity uses smart health checks to monitor your IDP's availability and instantly activates failover strategies tailored to your needs. When the coast is clear, it's a seamless switch back. No more downtime, no lost revenue, no frustrated customers. Just continuous, secure access to your critical applications every single time. Protect your business from the high costs of IDP outages. With Identity Continuity from Strata, downtime is a thing of the past. Learn more at strata.io. Keep your business moving even when the unexpected happens. That's strata.io.
Our guest today is a fellow Maria, this one named Maria Lanas, Space for Art Foundation co-founder. And this Maria works with astronaut Nicole Stott on art installations to inspire students to learn more about space. And she spoke to T-Minus producer Alice Carruth about how it all got started.
Before Nicole, I had my own initiative called Project Postcard. I was working with different schools from around the world, and we had an exhibit in Dallas Airport called One World. So Nicole that day was coming back from Houston from working on her own project, and she saw it, and she tagged me. And that moment when I saw this, tag on my Instagram account, I was like, what is this Astro Nicole thing, And as soon as I click on the picture, I see the astronaut, and I'm like, oh my God, an astronaut likes my work. And my first thought was first of shock, that somebody so big and important to me would be liking my work. And then the second idea was, this is an opportunity for all the kids that I work with to learn about space. When in a message, I thanked Nicole for tagging me. And I asked her, is it possible that, my kids that I work with, exchanging artwork, can they send postcards to space to the astronauts? And she replied, yes. First, we started our own postcards to space in 2018. And then Blue Origin, they started their own project. And we engaged with them, and they invited us to participate with Club for the Future. And we have been working with them, sending postcards to space. They give us the template. And it's an amazing program because now we can broaden it up. We give the postcards to the kids. They make their drawings. And, we send them to Club for the Future. And whenever the next flight is, they send them up to space. And then the postcards are stamped, and they are sent back to the kids. So now they have something personal. It's something, it's meaningful to them, that they got so far with their own personal touch. So it's really nice.
I love that. Be able to have a piece of space to hold on to have as your own. What an exceptional thing for these students around the world.
It is, before, I used to think it looks beyond their horizon, but now we have gone completely beyond their horizons, and their outlook on the future is so different, and it's an added value to their education and, experiences.
Absolutely. And you and Nicole collaborate on Space for Art Foundation.
Yes, we formed the Space for Art.
Can you tell me a little bit about that foundation?
Well, after working on the Spacesuit Art project, we decided to create a foundation. So we called it the Space for Art, and we create space-themed art projects for kids in hospitals, in schools, in refugee camps, and we promote healing through art. And hopefully, when we get to work with these kids in the hospitals, again, it's another transforming idea because we're, from a difficult moment in their lives they're going through, we give them a time where hopefully they can forget about that and they can, again, look beyond.
Yeah, I love that. And you guys have done a series of spacesuits with those students' arts. Can you tell us a bit about the spacesuits that you guys make?
Well, each spacesuit is different. And Nicole started, the spacesuits with MD Anderson and our also co-founder Ian Zion. And it started small, with just kids, with that same idea, kids' artwork, put them in a spacesuit. And luckily, they were able to send them to space. So it's the same simple idea, and to gather the artwork from different hospitals and just, have ILC Dover create the spacesuits, which even gives it greater meaning because what they do is incredible. And when the kids learn that and when they see the final product is mind-blowing, is to participate in something like that, to give them a moment like that, to give them a memory like that, to make them part of history like that is, it's priceless.
And rewarding, I'm sure.
Rewarding, for everybody who participates.
Yeah. And how many of them have been to space so far?
3 so far.
Incredible. And how many have you made altogether?
About 5.
Wow. And where can people find out about the spacesuits?
They can find out through our website, the spaceforartfoundation.org. And we also have the latest spacesuit. Well, the latest spacesuit is called Infinity, but before that, it was called Beyond. And with our Beyond spacesuit, we did it during COVID time. So we couldn't go into hospitals and work with the kids. So we made, in a way, virtual. The kids just had to send us the pictures of the drawings. And we were lucky enough, well, we worked hard. We were able to capture a drawing from every country on the planet. So everybody's represented there. And we went a step beyond the spacesuit, and we made a virtual spacesuit. So everybody can, go to our website and look at the spacesuit, click on it, where they will see the spacesuit and they can click on each picture and see where the picture came from, which country, which organization. And it's a great way to learn about geography, but also for the kids who participated to see wherever they are in the world, their artwork.
How have you found the students reacting, having changed from being artwork focused on their Earth-based neighborhoods to artwork that's going to space? Have you seen any sort of transition? Has that been more inspiring, less inspiring, more engaging?
Kids love to tell their stories. And it's a mix because some kids will send stories. They continue telling their stories where they come from, telling the stories to the astronauts, right? And they also have questions about space, about aliens, about what they eat. So now it's gone, to another layer, right? Now they can talk about, now the subject is space and what happens, from aliens to how you live there.
Yeah, I mean, what a great way to bring students in and getting them engaged in space. If people want to find out more about all your projects, where is it they can find all of your artwork?
On our website, which is www.spaceforartfoundation.org. And they can always come to our website and engage in our projects and send postcards to space and be part of this great experience.
We'll be right back.
And now, a word from our sponsor, Cortex. Security teams face a barrage of more. More security tools create more complexity. More devices need protection. More specialized focus areas create more silos. The security landscape is changing fast. How can security operations transform to meet current threats? Cortex by Palo Alto Networks consolidates SecOps tools into an integrated platform and helps organizations stop threats at scale with AI, automation, and analytics. Learn more at paloaltonetworks.com/Cortex.
Welcome back. And while its launch is still some years out, we are today one step closer to super wide field views of space via NASA's upcoming Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. Yesterday at NASA Goddard, the spacecraft bus for Roman was officially complete after 8 years of construction, installation, and testing work. The Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is scheduled to launch in May 2027, and now that its bus is complete, integration of its major components, including the telescope itself, can now begin. That is very exciting. And I do ooh and ah at the fantastic data that we get from Chandra, Hubble, and Webb. And I've got to tell you, I am very eagerly awaiting when Roman joins their ranks. Webb's daily data downlink sends about 50 to 60 gigs of information to Earth every day, while Roman's going to be sending back much, much more than that. Try 1.4 terabytes a day on for size. Roman's going to be a wide field telescope with a field of view 100 times greater than that of Hubble's infrared instrument. So while you might think of Webb as being more of a zoomed-in view of specific spots in space, Roman's going to give us wide starfield views of huge swathes of space at a time. Roman's wide field instrument is expected to measure light from 1 billion galaxies or more during its 5-year mission. Yes, seriously, that is not a Star Trek joke. And like Webb, and actually, yeah, kind of like Star Trek too, Roman will be looking for strange new worlds. And that is it for T-Minus for September 18th, 2024, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. For additional resources from today's report, check out our show notes at space.n2k.com. And we'd love to know what you think of this podcast, as always. And you can email us at space@n2k.com or submit the survey in the show notes. Your feedback ensures we deliver the information that keeps you a step ahead in the rapidly changing space industry. N2K Strategic Workforce Intelligence optimizes the value of your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your team while making your team smarter. This episode was produced by Alice Carruth. Our associate producer is Liz Stokes. We are mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester, with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Our executive editor is Brandon Karpf. Simone Petrella is our president, Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I am your host, Maria Varmazis. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.